Yesterday, upon the stair, I met a man who wasn't there. He wasn't there again today. I wish he'd go away. When I came home last night at 3, the man was waiting there for me, but when I looked around the hall, I couldn't see him there at all. Go away, and don't you come back anymore. Go away, and please don't slam the door. Last night I saw upon the stair a little man who wasn't there. He wasn't there again today. Oh, how I wish he'd go away. And that is Antigonish by William Hughes Mearns, or Mearns. I'm not sure how to pronounce his last name, actually. Welcome to this installment of my Fortnight of Fright. This is the halfway point of Fortnight of Fright, actually, because I started 1 week ago. And, well, I guess yesterday's would have been the halfway point, actually. But anyway, we've gone through half, effectively. And this is Antigonish. Antigonish is probably more of a straightforward ghost story than most of the other ones that we see here. There's the story about, this is probably one of the most quoted poems of this sort, although most of the time people aren't really sure what it is they're quoting or where it comes from. I did a little reading before using this one today, and I didn't know this, but Antigonish is based on accounts of some spooky sightings in a house in the town of Antigonish, Nova Scotia. And I looked up the town of Antigonish, Nova Scotia, and what I found was actually a pretty pleasant-looking community. I don't know how it became known to be a place that had a ghost in it that would have inspired William Hughes Mearns, especially since the man who wasn't there it might have been a better title. Although Antigonish, it vaguely sounds like the word antagonist. I'm pretty sure that's not what he's going for. I also looked around at some analysis of this poem. Some people suggest that the poem isn't talking about an actual ghost. They think that it's meant to refer to the way that the narrator sees himself, as if there's some mistake or some element of self-loathing that drives this person and makes this person just wish that their life was totally different. But I did some more reading into William Hughes Mearns. I really hope I'm not mispronouncing that name. And one of the things I discovered about him is that he was actually a huge proponent of encouraging the natural creativity of children, especially those ages about 3 to 8. And he would type up notes of the conversations that kids had with each other, and he tried to learn to make them forget there was an adult around just so that they could be themselves. And he didn't ask them questions, didn't want to show any surprise no matter what they did or said. So in a way, his work is kind of the predecessor to Axe Cop, if you're familiar with Axe Cop. And because of this, I think it probably actually is a ghost story. I think it really is about a man. And what's this man's quality? Well, he's not there. And that's the kind of intuitive grammatical jump that children can make. So I'm going to jump and make the bold statement that this ghost story may in fact be a ghost story. And that's not to say that it couldn't have a double meaning, but I don't think that's the primary aspect. The poem was actually originally created for a play. It was a play called, let me see if I can find it here, Psycho-Ed, the Psycho-Ed, or the Psychoed, maybe? Psycho-Ed or Psychoed. And that play came in 1910. The poem wasn't really published on its own until 12 years later. So I haven't been able to find much about the Psychoed, but maybe this. Current biography, 1940, page 571. Okay, well, I don't have access to his biography, especially not page 571 of it. So I can't tell you any more about Psychode. Maybe the play Psychode would give a little more context. Based on the name Psychode, I could see it referring to an actual haunting with a ghost, or I could see it referring to psychoanalysis and talking about people who don't like what they're doing right now. And I think that's something that many people can identify with. This, however, I will again say, I think this is a story about the way kids would describe ghosts. It has that kind of sing-songy nature to it. Anyway, that's all that I have to say on this topic. As I've said in almost every video so far, I'm not really a poetry expert, and I'm certainly not an expert on the individual poets, but that's what I'm getting out of this. So, we are past the halfway point now. Thank you again for tuning in to my Fortnight of Fright, and I will see you as I keep going. Bye, everyone.